Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about the latest in the short treks, the Brightest Star, after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and today we're talking about Star Trek Discovery, or at least a prequel to it, as we get the origin story of Saru. Before he became a commander in Starfleet, he was a member of a primitive tribe, and we meet his father and his sister. Evidently, his mother was lost sometime earlier, as were many members of their tribe. They live in mud huts, and the only thing of technology that's seen in the area is what looks like to be an area of sacrifice, where there is an electronic beacon of some sort that draws the Ba'u every once in a while to select somebody to take back with them. And while we never see the Ba'u, we see them being beamed aboard, and then the rest of the people go away back to their huts and live a peaceful life. They accept all of this as being just a part of life and something that they should accept. And to our point of view, we don't really know what's happening, if they're taken for food, if they're taken for slaves, or what. So a piece of equipment falls off the ship. The father says to Saru, those things fall off all the time. We'll give it back to him later, or something like that. And so they put it in a safe place. Saru, however, is curious about this. And the first thing that I find in this episode that's a little hard to believe is that someone who is a part of a tribe that lives by candlelight could even understand what a piece of technology was, much less take it apart as he does, manage to repair it, and then put out a message on it. When, even in his questioning of his father over a meal, the father is not interested in talking about what lies beyond their village. So the idea that other people come from the stars, or anybody does for that matter, there's no way for Saru to know this. But he does catch on that this device that has fallen off the ship is a communication device. He's able to take it apart, put it back together, get it to working, and send out a distress signal to who knows where. And why didn't it go to the Ba'u? I don't get that either. At any rate, he calls for help, and before long, he has a message back that starts with hello, and evidently is a communication from Starfleet. And so he leaves his family, goes up onto a high mountain or hill, and a shuttle comes down with a SHN on the front. Looks like it's from the Shinzo, and off of that shuttle comes Giorgio, who is a lieutenant at the time of this telling. And they clearly use a communicator as a universal translator, and she basically tells him that she had to get special permission in order to come rescue him, and he would have to leave everything that he knows forever and join them. And despite the fact that Saru is from a prey species that is not very aware of high technology and afraid of everything, he is interested in moving along. I suppose, as he said in the narrative, that there was hope that overcame fear. Maybe something that has been a thing about Star Trek from the very beginning. Hope beyond fear. A couple of things that I get from this. First of all, it looks very much like Data's pen pal, except in that case, Data was not able to bring this alien back with him, but had to actually leave her on this planet that was being destroyed because of Picard's sticking to the letter of the Prime Directive. Evidently, in those days, Starfleet wasn't as concerned about the Prime Directive, or Giorgio was a lot more persuasive. Also, it seems now that she is the go-to person if you want to get away from somewhere. It seems that we've already established that she took in Sarek Ward sometime later, and later she becomes not only a Starfleet officer, but the first officer of the Shenzhou. And in this earlier time, she rescues Saru and evidently has some influence on him being able to get into Starfleet, to learn all about the technology of the Federation and of Starfleet, and become an officer and eventually a commander himself. I don't know what to think about this. It's an interesting origin story, but even under the rules of Star Trek, it seems kind of far-fetched. I'd like to know what you think about it. If you saw this, and if you are interested in what the new season of Star Trek Discovery, which is coming sometime in January, will be. We already know that there's going to be some changes. We're going to meet Spock. We are going to have a whole different kind of adventure. We're going to have Captain Pike. It looks like that they have listened to a lot of what the fans have said about the first season and are going to attempt to fix some of it. Let's see if you think it can be fixed or not. Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I'd appreciate your subscriptions. If you would like to subscribe, please do so and ring the bell so you won't miss the next video that we send your way. In the meantime, there is another short trek that's going to deal with Harry Mudd called, I think it's something like The Great Escape Artist or some such like that, and that should be interesting. Of course, we have The Orville is going to be the first American show back at the end of December, just right at the 31st. So we have a lot to look forward to. I hope that you'll be along with us to talk about it and to see what happens. Until then, don't go far.